Man, it is a beautiful day. It's got to be 40, 45 degrees. 2 days ago, when I woke up in the morning, it was 2, and it didn't get above 16. So that's, there's a saying about Maine. I'm sure other places have this too. Every state thinks they're unique, but my frame of reference is Maine, and the old saying is, if you don't like the weather in Maine, just wait a second. It's beautiful out right now. I'm gonna go out in the workshop, work on some made gifts. I'm not even going to start the wood stove, which is good because the made gifts I'm working on now, I actually need to have the wood shop completely open. I'm going to be planing some lumber today, so I'm going to get out my table saw and planing table and planer, and I'm going to open up the doors. Which means I need to move all this stuff. Hey everybody. Well, I'm just back. It's dark. I've been gone all afternoon, and I've had one of those days where, at least it seemed like for a while, it was going to be one of those days where just nothing was going to work out. I am in the process of building what I hope is going to be a really awesome zip line for the kids, 200 plus feet long. Michael's actually coming over tomorrow morning to help me put together everything that I've got. We're going to build a platform up in a tree, run the line from the platform to another tree. It's going to go down over a hill out in the woods, so we may have to clear out a little bit of brush so there's no branches whipping anybody, but so far the line looks pretty clear, but I'm very excited. But today, because Michael's coming over tomorrow, I wanted to get all of the stuff that I could. I haven't got the trolley yet, or the carabiner that hooks the rope where the zipline seat is going to be attached to the trolley. I'm going to have to order that, and I also need to order the braking system. And I've done a bunch of research, and I think the system I'm going to use is a bungee system. So I need to order that, and hopefully that will be here before Christmas. But I was out all afternoon trying to round things up. I went into town this morning to a local hardware store to get cable. And I need 1/4 inch cable, and I need a little over 200 feet. And around here, at least, if you want 200 feet, you're better off to buy a whole roll, which is 250 feet for 1/4 inch 7-wire cable. So I went to the local hardware store, and they had, here they sell it by the foot, by the linear foot, and they had a roll, but it wasn't a full roll. It was almost full, but I could tell that there's some missing. It had been a little bit uncoiled. So I asked if they had any out back or up above, and they said no, they didn't. That what they had was right there. So I said, all right, well, I really need a full roll, which I really don't need a full roll, but if I'm gonna pay for a full roll, I want to make sure there's enough there. And when a roll's partially open, especially with like a small town hardware store where they may not do the best job of keeping inventory with SKU numbers and whatnot, I figured there's really no way to know how much has been taken off this roll without uncoiling the entire thing, which nobody's going to do, including me. So I figured, all right, I'll go into a bigger city. I can go either north or south and get to a fairly urban area, at least for Maine, where there's a Home Depot and a Lowe's and all those types of big box stores. And I figured they'll have it. So this afternoon I went to a different place in town to get rope. And this is what is going to actually hang down from the trolley and be attached to the seat, and you'll grab onto the rope when you're using the zip line. I got this thimble for the rope so that it won't slip through the seat. I got a bunch of wire thimbles for the cable when I eventually get the cable, and a bunch of cable clips to secure it around the trees and whatnot. But what I was missing was the cable. I went in and I went to, let's see, where did I go first? I went to Lowe's, and they had 1/4 inch cable, but they didn't have a full roll. And then right next to it, they had 1/4 inch cable with a vinyl exterior, a vinyl coating on it. And they had a full roll of that. So I'm standing there furiously using my phone in Lowe's to try to figure out, is it okay to use vinyl coated cable? And in all the research that I've done, I've never seen vinyl coated cable on anybody's zip line. So I'm thinking probably not, but I'm getting a little bit desperate, and I'm thinking also, hey, vinyl coated, it's going to last longer. So I'm searching and searching and searching, and I finally found a thread on a zipline company's website where somebody had asked them, is it okay to use, because I already bought vinyl before I found your website. And I'm scrolling through all the responses, and the answer is no, you cannot, because the vinyl has a higher friction coefficient than the cable, so it's going to create more friction as your trolley is going down, and it's going to heat up and melt. So that was out, so I couldn't use that. So then I went across the street to Home Depot. They did not have any uncoated cables. They had full rolls, but again, it was coated. So then I went to a neighboring city, to a Lowe's there. They did not have it. I went across the street there to Home Depot. They didn't have it either. So this has been one of those days. I then went to a mall, which it's a week before Christmas. I hate the mall anyway. Going there around this time of the year is awful, but I was very desperate, so I went and braved that whole fiasco to go to Dick's Sporting Goods to see if I could at least get the trolley system, because when I was researching this over the last couple of weeks, I saw that they sell kits. So I figured rather than special order a trolley system from a zipline company that may or may not get here, I'll just buy one of their kits and use the 50-foot cable for something else, and eventually find my cable, and I'll be able to use that. So I went to Dick's after looking online, and it said they had 5 in the store. They have none in the store. This has been one of those afternoons. So I just went back, drove all the way back, went into town, went back to the original hardware store that I went to this morning, and found a guy, and I said, look, here's what I'm doing. This is clearly not a full roll. I don't need a full roll, but I want to know how much I'm getting. And if there's no way to know how much I'm getting, I won't be able to get this. So he went into the computer, and it turns out that this hardware store does a very good job of inventory, which is awesome. It's one of the few small hardware stores that I've done where they actually use SKU numbers. If you live in a small town and you have 1 or 2 hardware stores that are really great, You know, walk in, cement floor, a little bit grungy, but everything is there that you need. The people there know how to do everything, know where everything is. Awesome. But a lot of times, if they can't find a SKU number, they'll just pop something into the computer and put in the price. So then inventory is a nightmare. This store isn't like that. So he went right over to the computer, put in the SKU number, and said, yep, there's 239 feet left on that roll. And I said, awesome, that's more than I need. I will take it. Not only that, but because I wanted to buy a whole roll, they sell it at a discount, which is awesome. But because I wanted a whole roll and they didn't have it, they took even more off the price. So I got this cable, more than I need, for, instead of, I think it was 85 cents per foot, I got it for 53 cents per foot. Super psyched. So this is like a pretty awesome ending to a very frustrating afternoon. And here's the cable. It's incredibly heavy. 1/4 inch galvanized 7-wire wound cable for my zipline project. Very excited.